The Silk Road, a route that connected the civilizations of East and West. It ran from the Mediterranean Sea through Central Asia and reached as far as Japan. Not only goods such as silk, jewels and glassware, but also art and ideas were carried by travelers of the Silk Road. Mahayana Buddhism, which was born in the Indian subcontinent, also traveled the Silk Road and was introduced to Japan. Why did people attempt to spread these teachings, surmounting trackless paths? What kind of ideas are hidden in them? Let's embark on a journey to explore these questions. Dunhuang is located in northwestern China. It was once an oasis city that prospered as a junction on the Silk Road. Dunhuang means blazing beacon. Religion, art and knowledge from East and West met here, enabling flowers of culture to blossom in profusion. The Mogao Caves. Artists from China, India and Central Asia visited this place starting from the mid-4th century. They created Buddhist artwork here for over 1,000 years. Several hundred caves that still exist today form a truly magnificent gallery in the desert.
还有一个敦煌的佛教是民众的佛教，我们叫做庶民的佛教，就是说我们老百姓，自己大家伙一起来，都去有很强烈的宗教心去修复这个洞窟。
More than 10 generations of a family engaged in the work of restoring one cave. It is said that for the construction of another cave, more than 1,000 people each gave a small amount of money and helped create Buddhist art. This painting in a Mogao cave shows scenes from the Lotus Sutra. Such depictions were intended to make it easy for people to understand the realm of the Buddha expounded in the sutras. Among the numerous Buddhist sutras referred to as the 80,000 teachings, the Lotus Sutra is considered the king of sutras.
在我们敦煌藏经洞出土的古代的经卷里面，就是说有什么经最多，如果去说的话，大概藏经洞里我没有统计过，但是从我的感觉来说，这个法华经的数量也是属于最多的。
We can surmise that in those times, it was the Lotus Sutra among all the sutras that had the greatest influence and moved the hearts of the people the most. Shakyamuni Buddha expounded Buddhism in India. His teachings were compiled by his disciples, passed on in those days not through written words, but through oral transmission. Several centuries after Shakyamuni's passing, the teachings were set down in written form. The Lotus Sutra, which is central among the Mahayana Sutras, was also written down during this period. As Buddhism was transmitted to various regions, the Lotus Sutra was translated into different languages. Among all of these, the translation into Chinese by Kumarajiva in the year 406, known as Myoho Rengekyo in Japanese, is regarded as the most outstanding translation of the Lotus Sutra.
所以说，《法华经》它的成立或者它的流行，实际上在中国得到了很大的影响。这其中有谁呢？ 应该和这个我们《法华经》第2译这个鸠摩罗什的翻译有很大的关系。鸠摩罗什的翻译呢就很好理解，敦煌的城里面就有人在抄写，说明了当时《法华经》流传的时间之迅速，流传地域之广阔。
The Lotus Sutra consists of 28 chapters in 8 volumes. So, what message does it contain? The Lotus Sutra contains many parables. Most well known among them are the so-called 7 parables of the Lotus Sutra. Having many such illustrative stories is one of the sutra's key features. Dr. Burton Watson, translator of the Lotus Sutra into English, explains.
Well, with regard to the appeal of the Lotus Sutra, I think its literary appeal is very great, particularly the 7 parables. They make the message of the sutra very concrete and real in terms of everyday life. So I think the main appeal of the sutra is literary through the parables, which are very extraordinary.
The parable of the 3 carts and the burning house. In a certain country, a fire breaks out in the house of a wealthy man. He tells his children who are engrossed in playing that he will give them 3 types of carts if they come out. Carts pulled by goat, deer and oxen. This makes the children excited and they come out of the burning house. Instead, the father then gives them each a jeweled carriage drawn by a majestic white ox, far more magnificent than the carts he promised them. This makes them extremely happy. The wealthy man represents the Buddha, the burning house, the world of earthly desires and suffering, and the children, all living beings. The 3 carts respectively represent the teachings of voice hearers, cause awakened ones, and bodhisattvas. The father giving his children the great white ox cart indicates that the true intent of the Buddha is to share the one Buddha vehicle, the one principle that enables people to attain enlightenment. The parable of the Phantom City. A group of travelers embarks on a treacherous journey to seek treasure. Along the way, some become exhausted and say they want to go back. The leader uses transcendental powers to conjure up a phantom city and encourages them, saying, "We can rest once we reach that city." The party continues and they relieve their fatigue in the phantom city. The leader then makes the phantom city disappear and encourages them again. "Let's go now. The place of the treasure is close at hand." In this way, everyone is guided to their destination. This parable indicates that the teachings prior to the Lotus Sutra are expedient means leading to the full awakening expounded in the Lotus Sutra. The parable of the skilled physician and his sick children. A skilled physician returns home to find his children in agonizing pain from drinking poison. The physician gives them some excellent medicine, but the poison has already penetrated deeply and influenced their minds, causing some to doubt the medicine and refuse to drink it. Feeling pity for these children, the father says to them, "I will leave this good medicine here, so please take it," and departs. He then sends a messenger home to tell the children, "Your father is dead." All the children, hearing of their father's death, wake from their befuddled state brought on by the poison and are overcome with grief. They take the medicine, which reminds them of their father, and their sickness is immediately cured. Hearing this, the father then returns home. The father is likened to the Buddha and the children to living beings. The Buddha's passing is an expedient means to enable living beings to arouse their seeking spirit. The parable of the wealthy man and his poor son teaches that all people innately possess Buddhahood and can become Buddhas if they open up this treasure. The parable of the jewel in the robe describes ordinary people who don't recognize the Buddha nature they possess within. The parable of the bright jewel in the topknot describes how the Buddha's pre-Lotus Sutra teachings did not reveal the full truth of his message.
The other point which the Lotus Sutra makes is that the rain falls everywhere and gives rise to life. The Lotus Sutra often speaks of the rain going everywhere, spreading everywhere.
The parable of the 3 kinds of medicinal herbs and 2 kinds of trees reveals the Buddhist view of equality. Just as the rain falls equally upon the myriad grasses and trees and moistens the earth, the Buddha's teachings spread widely and equally to people of differing natures.
これはさまざまな差異や相違性を超えて人類がこの共に生きていく、人間はそれぞれの多様性を尊重しながら開花していけるというメッセージを読み取ることができると思います。
The most important message contained in the Lotus Sutra is the idea that everyone can reveal the life state of a Buddha and attain enlightenment.
那么我们知道佛教讲的女人不可能达到成佛的，但是《法华经》讲女人就可以的寄生直接就可以求得正果。那么这就为许多呢就是善男和信女们呢就开了一个通向那个成佛道路。另一点呢，就说他认为是恶人也可以成佛，那么就说是他一种广博的成佛论。我觉得这也是他很流传的原因之一。
この法華経において万人成仏の思想が説かれているということは、仏教の真の目的を明らかにしたということになるんですね。ですからこれは教王、諸教の王とも言われますし、また釈尊の出世の本願を説いた教、すなわちこの世に出現した目的を明らかにした教と言われるゆえんであると思います。
Buddhism spread through China and Korea and was introduced to Japan in the 6th century. The Lotus Sutra is known to have significantly influenced the rich culture of Japan's Heian era. In the Kamakura era, Nichiren expressed the essence of the Lotus Sutra in the title phrase or daimoku of Nam-myoho Renge-kyo, and established a new and unique teaching. He also taught that those who spread this daimoku are bodhisattvas of the earth, who carry out the wish of the Buddha to save all people.
日蓮の法華経の重要の特徴は、10の菩薩の思想を見出したことだと思います。
In the 15th chapter of the Lotus Sutra, emerging from the earth, Shakyamuni calls forth bodhisattvas who have the mission to spread the Lotus Sutra after his passing. Suddenly, the earth trembles, splits open, and from the opening emerge countless bodhisattvas of the earth with unity of purpose, enveloped in brightly shining light.
どんなに優れた思想があっても、それを実践する人がいなければ、この絵に描いた餅ですね。法華経の場合、この一仏上の思想、万人成仏の思想を広くこの訴えていく姿は、釈尊滅後の時代においては、これは取りも直さず10の菩薩の継承する仕事なんですね。
I personally am deeply convinced that somehow the Bodhisattvas incarnate in every age, and in our age it is President Daisaku Ikeda who is carrying on the great mission or the great tradition of the Bodhisattvas.
The spirit of the Lotus Sutra was revived by Nichiren. Under the leadership of Daisaku Ikeda, the Soka Gakkai has spread the spirit of the Lotus Sutra throughout the world, awakening many individuals to their mission as bodhisattvas of the earth.
These three jewels, Kumarajika, they gave the Lotus Sutra, they give a new life to Lotus Sutra, Nichiren Daishonin, with his interpretations. Then President Ikeda again adding to the exegesis of the Lotus Sutra and making it relevant to our times.
Daisaku Ikeda states, "The magnificent treasure tower that is as vast as the universe expounded in the Lotus Sutra is nothing other than the original state of all people. Those who are awakened to this inherent dignity will never have that dignity destroyed, no matter what threats should assault them or what trials they may encounter." How should one live one's life? People have been seeking the profound wisdom contained in the Lotus Sutra. It is an eternal scripture which can create a future of great value. Beyond that mountain, beyond that desert, I want to share the Lotus Sutra. Though different in form, this spirit of the travelers of the Silk Road lives on to this day.